Most people do not fail because they are weak. They fail because their mind keeps pulling them in the wrong direction. One day they feel ready. The next day they feel tired. One moment they want change badly. The next moment they go back to old habits. That struggle can feel frustrating, heavy, and very real. This audiobook is for the person who is done living that way. Inside these 10 rules, you will find simple but powerful truths that can change how you think, how you act, and how you handle pressure each day. You will hear about discipline, responsibility, confidence, focus, patience, calm thinking, clear goals, strong habits, steady effort, and full commitment to growth. Each rule is practical. Each rule is direct. Each rule is meant to help you build a stronger mind and a stronger life. If you have ever felt stuck, distracted, tired of your own excuses, or unsure how to keep moving forward, stay with this. What comes next may challenge you, but it may also give you the push you have been waiting for. Your life can improve in ways you can feel in your thoughts, your energy, and your daily choices. The first step is here. Chapter 1. Build discipline through small daily actions and consistent effort. Discipline is often misunderstood. Many people believe it begins with strong motivation or a sudden decision to change everything at once. They wait for the perfect morning, the perfect mood, or the perfect opportunity before taking action. Days become weeks, and weeks become months. The desire to improve remains alive, but nothing truly changes because action never becomes consistent. The truth is much simpler. Discipline is not built by waiting for the right feeling. It is built by doing the right thing, even when the feeling is missing. Every meaningful change in life begins with one small action that is repeated until it becomes part of who you are. No one wakes up one morning with perfect discipline. Every person who appears strong, focused, and dependable once struggled with the same excuses, doubts, and distractions that many people face today. The difference is not talent or luck. The difference is the decision to continue showing up every single day. Your life is shaped by what you repeatedly do. A single workout will not make you healthy. Reading one chapter of a book will not make you wise. Saving money one time will not create financial security. Speaking kindly once will not build strong relationships. Lasting results come from repeated actions that become daily habits. Small efforts may seem unimportant today, but over time they create remarkable changes that cannot be ignored. Many people avoid small actions because they believe they are too insignificant to matter. They want immediate results. They want visible progress within days. When that progress does not appear, they lose interest and stop. This way of thinking prevents real growth. Progress often begins quietly. The first few days may not feel different. The first few weeks may not show dramatic results. That does not mean your efforts are failing. It means you are laying a foundation that will support greater success later. Think about the person you want to become. Perhaps you want to become healthier, more confident, more patient, more successful, or more reliable. Every one of those qualities is developed through repeated behavior. Confidence grows when you keep promises to yourself. Patience grows when you choose calm instead of frustration. Success grows when you continue working while others stop. Reliability grows when people know your actions match your words. The first promise you must keep is the promise you make to yourself. Many people are careful about keeping commitments to others, yet they repeatedly ignore commitments they make to themselves. They say they will wake up earlier, but they press the snooze button. They promise to exercise, but they choose comfort instead. They decide to study, but they spend hours scrolling through endless entertainment. Every broken promise weakens self-trust. Every kept promise strengthens it. Self-trust is one of the greatest rewards of discipline. When you trust yourself, you no longer depend on outside encouragement to stay consistent. You become someone who follows through, regardless of mood. That confidence cannot be purchased or borrowed. It is earned through daily action. Start with something so small that you cannot reasonably refuse to do it. If reading for an hour feels difficult, begin with 5 pages. If exercising for an hour feels overwhelming, begin with 10 minutes. If writing 100 ideas feels impossible, begin with 1 paragraph. Small actions remove the pressure that often causes people to quit before they begin. Many people underestimate the power of beginning. The hardest part of almost every task is getting started. Once you begin, continuing often becomes much easier. Action creates momentum. Momentum makes consistency possible. Consistency creates discipline. Discipline produces results. Your morning offers an opportunity to strengthen discipline before the day becomes busy. The first choices you make often influence the rest of your day. Waking up when your alarm rings, instead of delaying another 10 minutes, sends a powerful message to yourself. Drinking water before reaching for your phone shows that your health comes before distraction. Spending a few quiet minutes planning your priorities creates direction instead of confusion. These actions may appear ordinary, but they are shaping your character. Discipline is not only about completing difficult tasks, it is about making wise decisions repeatedly, even when no one is watching. There will be mornings when you feel tired. There will be evenings when your energy is low. There will be days when your progress seems invisible. Those are the moments when discipline matters most. Anyone can work hard when everything feels easy. The real test comes when excuses become louder than your goals. Excuses often sound reasonable. You may tell yourself that you deserve 1 day off after working hard yesterday. You may believe that skipping today's effort will not matter because you can make up for it tomorrow. One missed day may not seem important, but repeated exceptions slowly become permanent habits. Discipline is protected by consistency, not perfection. This does not mean you must never rest. Rest is necessary for both your body and your mind. The difference between rest and avoidance is honesty. Rest prepares you to continue growing. Avoidance keeps you from growing at all. Learn to recognize the difference. Ask yourself whether your decision will help your future or simply make the present moment more comfortable. Comfort is appealing because it requires no effort. Growth demands effort, patience, and persistence. The person who always chooses comfort remains in the same place. The person who chooses growth accepts temporary discomfort for long-term improvement. Imagine planting a seed. During the first days, nothing appears above the ground. Someone without patience might believe nothing is happening and stop watering it. Another person continues caring for it every day because they understand that growth often begins where it cannot yet be seen. Your discipline works the same way. The early rewards are invisible. You are building stronger thinking, greater patience, and deeper self-control long before the visible results appear. One effective way to build discipline is to reduce unnecessary decisions. The more decisions you must make every day, the easier it becomes to choose convenience instead of progress. Create simple routines that remove uncertainty. Decide in advance what time you will wake up, when you will exercise, when you will study, and when you will rest. A clear routine reduces hesitation and makes positive action more automatic. Your environment also influences your discipline more than you may realize. If your workspace is filled with distractions, staying focused becomes harder. If unhealthy food is always within reach, making healthy choices becomes more difficult. If your phone constantly demands attention, your concentration will suffer. Make your environment support your goals instead of working against them. Prepare for success before temptation arrives. Place your book where you can easily see it. Keep your exercise clothes ready the night before. Remove unnecessary distractions from your workspace. Turn off notifications during important work. These simple changes reduce resistance and make disciplined action easier. Discipline is not about making life harder. It is about making the right choices easier to repeat. Every small improvement in your environment helps protect your focus and your energy. Another important lesson is to measure progress by your actions, not only by your results. Results often take time. Actions are within your control today. You cannot control exactly when success will arrive, but you can control whether you complete today's work. Focus on winning today. Read today's pages. Complete today's workout. Finish today's important task. Save today's small amount of money. Speak today's kind words. These daily victories eventually become the success you once imagined. Comparison often destroys discipline. Looking at someone else's achievements can make your own progress feel too slow. Remember that you are seeing another person's current chapter, not the years of effort that came before it. Your responsibility is not to match someone else's pace. Your responsibility is to continue improving your own life. Every day gives you another opportunity to become slightly stronger than yesterday. Even 1% of improvement matters, because small improvements continue adding up over time. The person who becomes just a little better each day eventually reaches a place that once seemed impossible. Discipline also changes the way you respond to failure. Instead of seeing one mistake as proof that you cannot succeed, you begin to see it as information that helps you improve. Missing one workout does not mean you should quit exercising. One unhealthy meal does not erase months of healthy eating. One difficult day does not define your future. Disciplined people recover quickly because they refuse to let one setback become a permanent pattern. The goal is never to become perfect. The goal is to become consistent. Consistency allows room for mistakes while refusing to make those mistakes your identity. Every new day offers another opportunity to continue building the life you truly want. Chapter 2. Replace excuses with responsibility and choose progress every day. Every person reaches a point where life presents a simple but powerful choice. One path is to explain why something cannot be done. The other is to accept ownership and begin working with whatever is available. That single choice quietly shapes the direction of the future. It influences your habits, your confidence, your relationships, and the way you respond to every challenge that appears. Responsibility is not about carrying unnecessary guilt or blaming yourself for everything that happens. It is about recognizing that your next decision always belongs to you. No matter where you begin, you still have the power to choose what comes next. Excuses often feel harmless because they offer temporary comfort. They protect the mind from disappointment by creating reasons for inaction. You may tell yourself that you are too busy, too tired, too inexperienced, or too late to begin. At first, these thoughts seem reasonable. Over time, they become familiar. Eventually, they become a habit. The more often you repeat them, the more convincing they sound. Without realizing it, you begin to accept limits that were never truly fixed. Responsibility creates a different way of thinking. Instead of asking why something is difficult, you begin asking what can be done today. That small change in perspective opens possibilities that excuses always hide. Progress begins when attention moves away from problems that cannot be controlled and toward actions that can. Life will never remove every obstacle before giving you an opportunity to grow. There will always be unexpected events, difficult people, changing circumstances, and moments that test your patience. Waiting for perfect conditions only delays improvement. Those who make meaningful progress learn to work with imperfect situations instead of expecting life to become easier first. Imagine waking up each morning with one simple question in mind. Instead of asking what might go wrong, ask yourself what meaningful action deserves your attention today. This question creates direction. It reminds you that each day contains opportunities to improve, even if those opportunities appear small. Responsibility begins with honesty. Honest people do not pretend they already know everything. They do not deny their weaknesses or ignore their mistakes. They are willing to look at themselves without making excuses. That honesty is not meant to create shame. It creates awareness. Once you clearly understand where improvement is needed, you can begin making better decisions. Many people spend enormous amounts of energy wishing the past had been different. They replay old conversations, missed chances, and painful experiences. While reflection can be useful, remaining trapped in regret serves no purpose. Yesterday cannot be rewritten. Today can still be used wisely. Responsibility means respecting the present instead of constantly arguing with the past. Another important part of personal responsibility is accepting that your reactions belong to you. You cannot control every opinion people have about you. You cannot control every challenge that appears without warning. You cannot control every unfair situation. What remains completely within your control is the way you respond. That response gradually becomes your character. Consider two people facing the same setback. One spends weeks blaming circumstances, waiting for someone else to solve the problem. The other begins looking for practical solutions immediately. Their situations may have started the same, but their futures quickly become different because of the choices they continue making. This principle applies to every area of life. If your health needs attention, take responsibility for one healthier decision today. If your finances need improvement, begin managing your spending with greater awareness. If your relationships have become distant, make the first effort to communicate honestly and respectfully. Progress rarely begins with dramatic actions. It usually begins with ordinary decisions repeated consistently. There is strength in admitting when you are wrong. Many people avoid apologizing because they believe it makes them appear weak. In reality, accepting responsibility for your mistakes demonstrates maturity and self-respect. An honest apology repairs trust more effectively than endless explanations designed to protect your pride. Blaming others may provide temporary relief, but it never creates lasting improvement. Every moment spent searching for someone else to blame is a moment taken away from your own growth. While others certainly influence your experiences, they should not control your future. You regain personal power when you stop waiting for someone else to change before improving your own life. Responsibility also means becoming dependable. When you make a commitment, treat it with respect. Arrive when you say you will. Finish the work you accepted. Follow through on promises whenever possible. People begin trusting those whose actions consistently match their words. More importantly, you begin trusting yourself. Small responsibilities deserve the same attention as large ones. Cleaning your living space, organizing your schedule, replying to important messages, managing your time wisely, and taking care of your physical health may appear ordinary. Yet these daily actions create order. Order reduces unnecessary stress and allows greater focus on meaningful goals. Many people search for confidence while overlooking one of its strongest foundations. Confidence grows each time you prove to yourself that you can handle responsibilities without avoiding them. Every completed task becomes evidence that you are capable of more than you previously believed. Choosing progress every day does not require constant perfection. There will be moments when your plans change unexpectedly. Some days will be more productive than others. The important question is not whether every day is flawless. The important question is whether you continue moving forward despite imperfections. One useful habit is ending each day with quiet reflection. Ask yourself simple questions. What did I do well today? Where could I have made a better decision? What lesson can I carry into tomorrow? These questions encourage growth without harsh self-judgment. They help you recognize both your strengths and the areas that deserve greater attention. Another valuable practice is replacing complaints with constructive thinking. Complaints focus attention on what feels unfair. Constructive thinking searches for useful next steps. This does not mean ignoring real difficulties. It means refusing to remain powerless in the face of them. Every challenge contains at least one productive response. Your responsibility is to find it. Your words influence your mindset more than you may realize. Notice how often you say phrases such as, "I can't," "I never have enough time," or "nothing ever works." These statements quietly shape expectations. Replace them with questions that encourage action. Ask, "How can I improve this situation?" or "What is the next useful step?" Better questions often produce better decisions. Responsibility also requires patience. Some improvements develop slowly. Learning new skills, strengthening relationships, improving physical fitness, or building financial stability all require steady effort over time. Do not mistake slow progress for failure. Continue showing up. Consistent effort eventually creates visible results. There is great value in becoming solution-focused. Problems deserve attention only long enough to understand them. After that, direct your energy towards solving them. This mindset reduces frustration because your attention remains on actions rather than obstacles. Pay close attention to the people who influence your thinking. Spend time with individuals who encourage accountability instead of making excuses. Positive influence does not come from people who constantly praise you regardless of your choices. It comes from those who encourage honesty, responsibility, and steady improvement. Responsibility extends beyond personal success. It includes the way you treat family members, friends, co-workers, and even strangers. Listen carefully when others speak. Keep your word whenever possible. Offer help without expecting recognition. Show respect during disagreements. These actions build trust and strengthen your character. Every meaningful goal requires sacrifice. You may need to give up unnecessary entertainment, delay short-term pleasures, or spend extra time developing new skills. Responsibility helps you accept these sacrifices because you understand the value of the future you are creating. When setbacks occur, avoid asking, "Why is this happening to me?" Instead, ask, "What can this experience teach me?" This question transforms disappointment into education. Every difficult experience contains information that can improve your judgment if you are willing to learn from it. Remember that your identity is shaped less by your intentions than by your repeated choices. Many people intend to become healthier, kinder, more disciplined, or more successful. Intentions matter, but actions create results. Every decision either strengthens the person you want to become or moves you farther away from that vision. There will always be voices that encourage comfort over growth. Some people will suggest lowering your standards because consistent effort appears difficult. Resist that temptation. Your future deserves greater respect than temporary convenience. Every responsible decision you make today becomes an investment in the life you will experience tomorrow. As the days pass, you will begin noticing quiet but meaningful changes. Problems that once felt overwhelming become manageable. Decisions become clearer because your priorities are stronger. Confidence grows because you know you can rely on yourself. Others begin recognizing your consistency, but the greatest reward comes from within. You develop the peace that comes from knowing your life is directed by deliberate choices rather than endless excuses. Progress is rarely dramatic from one day to the next, yet it becomes remarkable over months and years. Every responsible action, no matter how small, adds another stone to the foundation of a stronger life. Continue choosing ownership over blame. Continue choosing action over delay. Continue choosing growth over comfort. These daily decisions may appear ordinary, but together they create an extraordinary future built on character, purpose, and unwavering personal responsibility. Chapter 3. Strengthen confidence by facing fear and taking honest action. Confidence is often mistaken for a personality trait that only a fortunate few are born with. Many people believe that confident individuals simply wake up one day free from fear, uncertainty, or self-doubt. Reality tells a different story. Confidence is developed through experience. It grows each time you choose to move forward, even when the outcome is uncertain. It is built by proving to yourself, again and again, that you can face difficult moments without allowing fear to decide your future. It appears before important conversations, major decisions, new opportunities, and unfamiliar situations. It does not always arrive as panic. Sometimes it speaks quietly. It encourages hesitation. It suggests waiting for a better time. It convinces you that another person is more prepared, more talented, or more deserving. If you listen to that voice without question, your world becomes smaller. Opportunities disappear, not because they were impossible, but because they were never attempted. The purpose of confidence is not to eliminate fear. The purpose is to prevent fear from becoming your leader. You may still feel nervous before speaking in front of others. You may still wonder whether your efforts will succeed. Those feelings do not mean you should stop. They simply remind you that you are stepping into something that matters. Every meaningful achievement begins with uncertainty. Starting a business, learning a new skill, changing careers, improving your health, repairing a relationship, or pursuing a lifelong dream all require entering situations where success is not guaranteed. Waiting until you feel completely fearless means waiting forever. The strongest decision you can make is to begin while accepting that uncertainty is part of the process. Confidence grows through evidence. Every time you complete something difficult, your mind collects proof that you are capable of handling future challenges. This evidence becomes stronger than empty positive thinking because it is based on real experience. You no longer believe you can succeed simply because someone encouraged you. You believe it because you have already overcome situations that once seemed impossible. One of the greatest barriers to confidence is the habit of imagining failure before taking the first step. The mind often creates detailed stories about what might go wrong. You imagine embarrassment, rejection, criticism, or disappointment. These imagined experiences feel so convincing that they stop you from acting at all. Yet most of these predictions never become reality. Even when difficulties appear, they are usually far more manageable than the fear suggested. Whenever your thoughts begin creating unnecessary worries, return your attention to the present moment. Ask yourself, what action can be completed right now? Focus on preparing instead of predicting. Preparation builds ability. Endless worry only drains energy that could have been used productively. Honest action is the foundation of lasting confidence. Honest action means behaving in ways that reflect your values rather than your emotions. It means admitting when you do not know something. It means asking questions instead of pretending to have all the answers. It means accepting constructive feedback without becoming defensive. These choices require courage because they expose your imperfections, but they also create genuine personal growth. People often believe they must appear perfect to earn respect. In truth, authenticity earns deeper trust than perfection ever can. Others appreciate honesty because it reflects strength, not weakness. A person who accepts mistakes openly demonstrates confidence in learning rather than confidence in appearance. There is great freedom in releasing the need to impress everyone. Trying to satisfy every opinion creates constant pressure. No matter how carefully you live, someone will disagree with your choices. Someone may misunderstand your intentions. Someone may criticize your efforts despite your best work. If your confidence depends entirely on approval from others, your emotional stability will always remain uncertain. Instead, allow your standards to come from your character. Measure success by your effort, your integrity, and your willingness to improve. These qualities remain under your control regardless of outside opinions. Fear often becomes stronger when important decisions are delayed. Every postponed conversation, postponed opportunity, or postponed commitment gives anxiety more time to grow. Action interrupts this cycle. Even a small step weakens fear because it replaces imagination with experience. Once you begin, your attention naturally shifts towards solving real problems instead of worrying about imaginary ones. Consider the skill you have developed most successfully in your life. Perhaps you learned to drive, mastered a profession, became comfortable using technology, or improved at communicating with others. None of these abilities appeared instantly. They improved through repeated practice. Confidence follows the same pattern. Every repetition reduces uncertainty and increases familiarity. Another important lesson is learning to separate mistakes from identity. Making an error does not mean you are incapable. Experiencing rejection does not mean you are unworthy. Receiving criticism does not mean your future has been decided. Events describe moments. They do not define who you are. When you understand this difference, temporary setbacks lose much of their emotional power. Growth requires the willingness to become a beginner again. Many adults avoid learning new skills because they dislike feeling inexperienced. They fear looking unprepared or making simple mistakes. Yet every expert was once inexperienced. Every successful person once struggled with tasks that later became natural. Humility allows learning to continue throughout life. Confidence also develops when you keep your attention on effort rather than comparison. Someone else will always appear more advanced in one area of life. Comparing your beginning with another person's years of experience creates unnecessary discouragement. Instead, compare yourself with the person you were last month or last year. Notice the skills you have gained, the habits you have improved, and the challenges you now handle more effectively. Physical posture influences mental attitude more than many people realize. Standing upright, maintaining steady eye contact, speaking clearly, and breathing calmly send powerful signals both to yourself and to those around you. These simple habits do not create false confidence. They help express the confidence that grows through preparation and honest effort. Your daily conversations provide many opportunities to strengthen courage. Speak truthfully, even when it feels uncomfortable. Express appreciation when someone deserves recognition. Admit uncertainty when you need guidance. Respectfully communicate your opinions instead of remaining silent out of fear. These ordinary moments gradually reshape your identity into someone who values honesty over comfort. Another valuable practice is completing tasks you have been avoiding. Every unfinished responsibility quietly occupies mental space. Whether it is making an important phone call, organizing neglected work, scheduling an appointment, or addressing a difficult issue, completing these tasks creates a sense of relief and personal strength. Each completed responsibility reminds you that difficult actions are often far less painful than prolonged avoidance. Confidence becomes stronger when you prepare consistently. Preparation removes unnecessary uncertainty. Study carefully before an exam. Practice before giving a presentation. Train before entering competition. Organize before beginning an important project. Preparation cannot guarantee success, but it significantly improves your readiness while reducing avoidable fear. There will be moments when your efforts produce disappointing results, despite careful preparation. Do not allow these experiences to convince you that trying was a mistake. Every meaningful journey includes unexpected setbacks. Treat each disappointment as useful information rather than personal failure. Ask what can be improved next time. This mindset transforms every experience into education. Pay attention to the language you use when speaking about yourself. Replace harsh labels with accurate observations. Instead of saying you always fail, recognize that one attempt did not succeed. Instead of believing you are incapable, acknowledge that you are still learning. Honest thinking encourages progress because it avoids both false confidence and unnecessary self-criticism. Surround yourself with people who encourage growth through honesty rather than empty praise. Supportive individuals celebrate your progress while also challenging you to improve. They remind you of your potential without allowing you to become comfortable with excuses. These relationships strengthen confidence because they are built on truth. Another way to build inner strength is by honoring private commitments. Complete important work even when no one is watching. Continue practicing after external recognition disappears. Choose integrity when dishonest shortcuts seem easier. These quiet decisions shape your self-respect far more than public achievements. Patience is an essential companion to confidence. Some goals require months or years of steady effort before meaningful results appear. Resist the urge to judge your future based on temporary circumstances. Continue learning, continue practicing, continue refining your abilities. Confidence grows naturally when persistence becomes part of your character. Do not wait for a dramatic moment that suddenly changes everything. Real transformation usually happens through ordinary decisions repeated consistently. Every honest conversation, every completed task, every difficult choice handled with courage, and every lesson learned from experience adds another layer of strength to your character. As time passes, you will notice subtle but meaningful changes. Situations that once caused hesitation will become familiar. Conversations that once created anxiety will feel more comfortable. Challenges that once appeared overwhelming will become opportunities to apply what you have learned. This change will not happen because fear disappeared completely. It will happen because you develop the habit of acting wisely despite fear. Your future does not depend on living without uncertainty. It depends on refusing to allow uncertainty to control your actions. Walk toward opportunities with preparation instead of hesitation. Speak with honesty instead of pretending. Learn from every experience instead of hiding from difficulty. Trust that every courageous decision strengthens the person you are becoming. Confidence is not something you discover one day. It is something you earn through steady action, truthful living, and the quiet determination to keep moving forward, regardless of what fear whispers along the way. Chapter 4. Protect your focus by removing distractions and ending delays. Your attention is one of the most valuable resources you possess. Unlike money, lost time cannot be earned back. Every hour that passes becomes part of your past forever. This is why learning to protect your focus is not simply a productivity skill, it is a life skill. The quality of your attention shapes the quality of your work, your relationships, your decisions, and the future you create through daily effort. Modern life constantly competes for your attention. Notifications appear without warning. Messages demand immediate replies. Endless entertainment promises quick satisfaction. New information arrives every minute, making it easy to believe that everything deserves your attention. In reality, very little does. A meaningful life is built by giving your energy to what truly matters, while having the discipline to ignore what does not. Many people mistake being busy for being productive. They move from one task to another without completing anything important. Their day feels full, yet they end it wondering why meaningful progress never happened. Activity alone is not achievement. Real progress comes from directing your attention toward work that creates lasting value, instead of reacting to every interruption. Focus begins with clarity. If you wake up without knowing what deserves your attention, the day will quickly fill itself with less important activities. Before beginning your work, identify the one responsibility that will make the greatest difference if completed today. Give that task your best energy before turning to smaller concerns. Important work deserves your strongest attention, not whatever energy remains at the end of the day. Distractions rarely announce themselves as serious problems. They often appear harmless. You may decide to check one message before starting your work. That message leads to another conversation. A few minutes become half an hour. You open a video intending to watch only one, but several more follow. By the time you return to your original task, your concentration has disappeared. These moments seem small, yet repeated often enough, they quietly steal weeks, months, and even years. Your mind performs best when it is allowed to remain with one task long enough to build momentum. Constantly switching between activities forces your attention to restart over and over again. This wastes mental energy and reduces the quality of your thinking. Deep work requires uninterrupted time. It allows ideas to develop fully instead of remaining incomplete. One practical way to strengthen focus is to create clear boundaries around your work. Decide when you will begin and when you will finish. During that period, remove anything that does not support your purpose. Silence unnecessary notifications. Place your phone out of reach if it continues to interrupt your concentration. Close unrelated applications on your computer. A simple environment often produces clearer thinking because fewer distractions compete for your attention. Another powerful habit is preparing your workspace before beginning. A clean and organized space encourages a calm and organized mind. When everything you need is easily available, you spend less time searching and more time creating. Order in your surroundings often supports order in your thinking. Delays usually begin long before action stops. They often begin with a thought that says, "There is plenty of time." You convince yourself that starting later will make little difference. Tomorrow seems just as suitable as today. Unfortunately, tomorrow repeats this same promise. Days continue passing, while important goals remain untouched. Progress does not disappear because of one delayed decision. It disappears because delay slowly becomes normal. There is rarely a perfect moment to begin meaningful work. Conditions will never align completely. energy levels will change. Unexpected responsibilities will appear. Waiting for ideal circumstances only strengthens the habit of postponement. Starting with what you have today creates far more progress than endlessly preparing for a future that never arrives. Many people avoid beginning because they imagine the entire journey at once. A large project feels overwhelming when viewed as one enormous task. Instead of thinking about everything that remains, focus only on the next clear action. Complete one page, make one important phone call, solve one problem, finish one section. Small completed actions gradually build substantial accomplishments. Your ability to concentrate also depends on your physical well-being. A tired body often leads to a distracted mind. Adequate sleep improves judgment, memory, and attention. Nutritious meals provide steady energy instead of sudden crashes. Regular movement increases alertness and reduces mental fatigue. Taking care of your body is not separate from protecting your focus. The two are closely connected. Mental clutter can become just as distracting as physical clutter. Unresolved worries, unfinished commitments, and constant overthinking consume valuable attention. Writing your thoughts on paper helps create mental space. Keep a notebook nearby. When unrelated ideas appear during focused work, write them down and return to your task. This simple habit allows you to acknowledge important thoughts without allowing them to interrupt your progress. Not every opportunity deserves acceptance. Learning to say no is an important part of protecting your focus. Every commitment requires time, energy, and attention. Accepting too many responsibilities weakens your ability to perform any of them well. Respect your priorities enough to decline activities that do not support your goals or values. Another hidden distraction is the desire to do everything perfectly before moving forward. Perfectionism often appears responsible, but it frequently delays meaningful progress. Many excellent ideas remain unfinished because someone continued making unnecessary changes instead of completing the work. Excellence comes from careful effort, followed by consistent improvement, not endless hesitation. Focus also requires emotional discipline. Difficult emotions can easily pull attention away from meaningful work. Frustration, disappointment, and anxiety may encourage you to escape into easy distractions instead of facing important responsibilities. Learn to recognize these moments without allowing them to control your decisions. Pause briefly, take a slow breath. Return your attention to the next useful action. Emotional balance allows productive work to continue even during challenging days. Notice how often your mind seeks immediate pleasure instead of lasting satisfaction. Quick entertainment provides temporary enjoyment, but completing meaningful work creates a deeper sense of fulfillment. Finishing a difficult project, learning a valuable skill, or solving an important problem leaves behind lasting confidence because you know your time was used wisely. Develop the habit of finishing what you begin whenever possible. Incomplete tasks quietly consume attention because your mind continues thinking about them. Completing responsibilities creates clarity. It frees mental energy for future work instead of leaving your attention divided among unfinished obligations. Your daily schedule should reflect your priorities. If every important activity is postponed until spare time appears, those activities may never happen. Schedule meaningful work intentionally. Protect that time with the same respect you would give an important appointment. Your future deserves a reserved place in your calendar rather than whatever moments remain after everything else. Learning to focus also means accepting that you cannot do everything at once. Growth requires patience. Some goals deserve your full attention now, while others can wait until the appropriate time. Attempting to pursue every opportunity simultaneously often results in scattered effort and disappointing results. Progress becomes stronger when your energy is directed toward a few meaningful objectives. There will be days when distractions seem especially powerful. On those days, simplify your expectations instead of abandoning them completely. If your concentration feels limited, complete one meaningful task before moving to anything optional. A smaller victory maintains momentum and protects the habit of showing up consistently. Pay attention to the influence of the people around you. Those who constantly interrupt your priorities or encourage unnecessary distractions can quietly weaken your discipline. Spend more time with individuals who respect focused work, value meaningful goals, and understand the importance of consistent effort. Positive influence strengthens your commitment without requiring constant reminders. Reflection is another valuable practice. At the end of each day, ask yourself where your attention was invested, which activities created lasting value, which ones consumed time without bringing meaningful results. Honest reflection helps you recognize patterns that might otherwise remain unnoticed. Awareness allows gradual improvement. Technology itself is not the enemy. It can educate, connect, and support meaningful work when used intentionally. Problems arise when technology begins controlling your attention instead of serving your purpose. Use digital tools wisely. Decide when they deserve your attention rather than allowing them to decide for you. The ability to focus becomes increasingly valuable in a world filled with constant interruption. While many people allow their attention to be scattered, those who protect it gain a quiet advantage. They think more clearly. They complete important work more consistently. They experience less unnecessary stress because they are no longer reacting to every distraction that appears. Remember that your greatest achievements will rarely come from dramatic moments of inspiration. They will come from ordinary days when you quietly honored your priorities, despite countless opportunities to become distracted. Every hour spent giving your full attention to meaningful work strengthens your character as much as it strengthens your skills. As you continue building this habit, you will notice changes that extend far beyond productivity. Conversations become more meaningful because you truly listen. Learning becomes deeper because your mind remains fully engaged. Decisions become wiser because they are made with careful thought instead of hurried reactions. Your sense of peace grows because your attention is no longer constantly pulled in every direction. Protecting your focus is ultimately an act of respecting your own potential. Every distraction you remove creates space for growth. Every unnecessary delay you overcome brings your goals closer to reality. Every intentional choice strengthens your ability to live according to your values instead of temporary impulses. Continue guarding your attention with care. Direct it toward work that matters, relationships that deserve your presence, and goals that reflect the person you are determined to become. Over time, these daily choices will shape a life defined not by scattered effort, but by purposeful action and meaningful accomplishment. Chapter 5. Learn from setbacks and keep moving forward with patience. Every meaningful journey includes moments that do not go as planned. No matter how carefully you prepare, there will be days when your efforts produce disappointing results. Plans will change unexpectedly. Opportunities will disappear. People may let you down. You may even make choices that you later wish had been different. These experiences are not signs that you are incapable of building a better life. They are part of the process of becoming wiser, stronger, and more prepared for the future. Many people believe success follows a straight path. They imagine that determined individuals move steadily from one achievement to the next without serious obstacles. Real life rarely unfolds that way. Growth often comes through experiences that test your patience, challenge your confidence, and force you to develop qualities that comfort could never teach. Difficult moments are not interruptions to your progress. They are often the experiences that shape your character most deeply. The first step after any setback is accepting reality without exaggerating it. It is natural to feel disappointed when something important does not work out. Ignoring your emotions is not strength. Give yourself enough time to acknowledge what happened. Recognize the disappointment without allowing it to define your future. A setback is an event. It is not your identity. One unsuccessful attempt does not erase your ability. One missed opportunity does not determine what is still possible. One mistake does not cancel every good decision you have made before. Life is much larger than any single moment. When you remember this truth, It becomes easier to respond with wisdom instead of panic. Patience is often misunderstood as passive waiting. True patience is active. It is the ability to continue making thoughtful decisions while results are still developing. It allows you to remain committed even when progress is difficult to measure. Patient people do not stop working because rewards are delayed. They understand that worthwhile achievements require time, steady effort, and emotional stability. When something goes wrong, resist the urge to search immediately for someone or something to blame. Blame may provide temporary relief, but it rarely produces meaningful solutions. Instead, ask yourself honest questions. What happened? Which parts were beyond your control? Which parts could you improve next time? These questions shift your attention from frustration toward learning. Every experience contains information. A successful outcome teaches you what worked well. A disappointing outcome often teaches you even more, because it reveals weaknesses that success might have hidden. Approach each challenge with curiosity rather than resentment. Curiosity opens the door to improvement. Resentment keeps you trapped in the past. Imagine someone learning to play a musical instrument. The first attempts are often slow and filled with mistakes. Notes are missed. Timing feels awkward. Progress seems almost invisible. If that person decides failure means they lack ability, learning ends immediately. Another person continues practicing, making small adjustments after every session. Months later, the difference between the two becomes remarkable. The improvement did not come from avoiding mistakes, it came from learning through them. This same principle applies to every area of life. Careers develop through experience. Relationships become stronger through honest communication and mutual growth. Physical strength increases through repeated training. Emotional resilience grows by facing challenges instead of avoiding them. Improvement is built through repetition, reflection, and the willingness to continue. One important habit during difficult times is protecting your perspective. Temporary problems often appear much larger than they truly are, because emotions are intense in the moment. Before making important decisions, give yourself time to think clearly. Strong emotions deserve acknowledgement, but they should not become the foundation for permanent choices. Avoid speaking to yourself in ways you would never speak to someone you care about. Harsh self-criticism does not create excellence, it creates discouragement. Instead, evaluate your actions honestly while remembering your ability to improve. Replace statements that attack your character with observations that guide your growth. This approach strengthens both accountability and hope. Another valuable lesson is understanding that timing differs for everyone. Some people achieve certain goals earlier than others. Some opportunities arrive quickly, others require years of preparation before appearing. Comparing your progress with another person's timeline only creates unnecessary frustration. Your responsibility is to continue developing your abilities, regardless of how long the journey requires. Patience also means respecting the process instead of becoming obsessed with immediate outcomes. A person who plants a tree understands that steady care matters more than constant checking for visible growth. Daily attention creates long-term results. The same principle applies to your skills, habits, and personal development. Continue doing what is necessary, even when dramatic changes have not yet appeared. During setbacks, it becomes especially important to maintain healthy routines. Continue exercising if your body allows. Continue reading, learning, and taking care of your health. Continue speaking kindly to those around you. These ordinary habits provide stability when larger areas of life feel uncertain. They remind you that while some circumstances are beyond your control, many important choices remain yours. Flexibility is another sign of strength. Sometimes a goal remains valuable while the method must change. If one approach fails repeatedly, do not assume the destination is impossible. Explore different strategies. Seek guidance from experienced people. Learn new skills. Adaptation is not surrender, it is intelligent persistence. There may be times when you feel tempted to abandon your goals simply because progress has slowed. During these moments, remember why you began. Reconnect with the deeper purpose behind your efforts. Goals connected to meaningful values create stronger commitment than goals based only on temporary excitement. One of the greatest gifts you can give yourself is the ability to begin again without carrying unnecessary shame. Every new morning offers another opportunity to apply yesterday's lessons. The past provides experience, not a prison. Do not allow old disappointments to prevent future possibilities. Another important practice is celebrating improvement that cannot yet be measured by external success. Perhaps you handled disappointment with greater maturity than before. Maybe you remained calm during a stressful situation that once would have overwhelmed you. Perhaps you continued working despite uncertainty. These internal victories deserve recognition because they reveal the strengthening of your character. Be careful not to confuse slow movement with standing still. Quiet progress often creates the strongest foundations. While others may notice only visible achievements, you understand that every thoughtful decision, every lesson learned, and every challenge handled with patience is preparing you for greater responsibilities ahead. Support from others can also make difficult seasons easier to navigate. Seek advice from people who demonstrate wisdom, integrity, and resilience. Listen carefully to those who have overcome challenges through persistence rather than shortcuts. Their experience can shorten your learning process while reminding you that setbacks are common to every meaningful journey. At the same time, avoid surrounding yourself with voices that encourage hopelessness or constant negativity. Discouraging opinions often spread quickly because they require little effort. Choose relationships that strengthen your determination while remaining honest about reality. Encouragement becomes most valuable when it is grounded in truth rather than unrealistic promises. Gratitude has a powerful place during difficult times. Even while working through disappointment, notice what remains good in your life. Appreciate the people who continue supporting you. Recognize the abilities you have developed. Value the opportunities that still exist. Gratitude does not erase challenges, but it prevents them from becoming the only thing you can see. Patience grows stronger each time you resist the urge to quit during uncomfortable moments. Every decision to continue despite uncertainty increases your emotional endurance. Eventually, situations that once felt overwhelming become manageable because your perspective has matured through experience. Remember that many important qualities cannot be developed during easy seasons alone. Compassion often grows after personal pain. Wisdom frequently follows difficult decisions. Humility develops when life reminds you that learning never ends. Courage becomes real when you continue despite fear and disappointment. These qualities remain with you long after individual setbacks have passed. When success finally arrives, it often carries greater meaning because of the challenges you overcame along the way. You appreciate opportunities more deeply because you understand the effort required to reach them. You become more patient with others because you remember your own struggles. Your achievements gain strength because they are supported by experience rather than luck. There will always be reasons to stop. There will always be moments when the easier choice is to lower your expectations and accept less than you are capable of becoming. Resist that temptation. Every setback contains a decision. You can allow it to reduce your determination, or you can allow it to increase your wisdom. That choice belongs entirely to you. Continue placing one thoughtful step in front of another, even when the destination still feels far away. Trust that consistent effort, honest reflection, and patient endurance create lasting progress that cannot be rushed. Life rewards those who remain steady through changing circumstances. Your greatest breakthroughs may arrive long after the moments when giving up seemed most reasonable. Allow every challenge to strengthen your judgment instead of weakening your hope. Carry each lesson forward without carrying unnecessary regret. Face tomorrow with greater understanding than you had yesterday. As long as you remain willing to learn, adapt, and continue moving forward, no setback has the power to define your future. Your story is written through perseverance, shaped by patience, and completed through the quiet determination to rise every time life asks you to begin again. Chapter 6. Control your thoughts and choose calm responses under pressure. The greatest battles in life are often invisible. They take place within your own mind, long before anyone else notices them. Every day, countless thoughts pass through your awareness. Some encourage courage, wisdom, and steady action. Others create worry, anger, confusion, or unnecessary fear. The direction of your life is influenced not only by what happens around you, but also by the way you manage what happens within you. Learning to guide your thoughts with intention and choosing calm responses during difficult moments is one of the most valuable skills you can develop. Most people cannot control every situation they face. Unexpected problems appear without warning. Plans change. People behave unfairly. Deadlines become stressful. Health concerns arise. Financial challenges test patience. Disagreements create emotional pressure. While these events are often beyond your direct control, your response remains your responsibility. The quality of that response determines whether pressure becomes a source of growth or a source of unnecessary suffering. A restless mind often reacts before it understands. It quickly reaches conclusions, assumes the worst, or creates stories without enough evidence. This habit increases emotional tension and makes clear thinking more difficult. A calm mind follows a different path. It observes carefully before responding. It gathers facts instead of making quick judgments. It creates space between the event and the reaction, allowing wisdom to replace impulse. One of the first steps toward mental control is recognizing that not every thought deserves your trust. Thoughts appear automatically, but they are not always accurate. You may think you are incapable when facing something unfamiliar. You may assume others are judging you without any real proof. You may imagine negative outcomes that never happen. Simply because a thought enters your mind does not mean it reflects reality. Develop the habit of examining your thoughts instead of accepting them immediately. Ask yourself whether they are supported by facts or driven by emotion. This simple practice weakens the influence of unnecessary worry and strengthens your ability to think clearly. Pressure has a way of revealing your habits. During calm moments, almost anyone can remain patient and polite. The true measure of inner strength appears when life becomes difficult. How you speak during disagreement, how you behave after disappointment, and how you make decisions during uncertainty reveal the quality of your self-control. Emotional balance does not mean becoming cold or emotionless. It means experiencing emotions without allowing them to dominate your actions. Anger may appear, but it does not have to control your words. Fear may arise, but it does not have to decide your future. Sadness may visit, but it does not have to convince you that hope has disappeared. Emotions provide information, but wisdom determines your response. One effective practice is slowing down whenever you feel intense emotion. Before speaking, give yourself a brief moment of silence. Take a slow breath. Allow your body to relax instead of becoming tense. These few seconds often prevent decisions that would later require regret or apology. Calmness is rarely created by accident. It is strengthened through repeated practice. Many conflicts become worse because people react immediately instead of listening carefully. While someone else is speaking, avoid preparing your response before fully understanding their words. Listen with the intention of learning rather than winning. This approach reduces unnecessary misunderstandings and creates stronger relationships built on respect. There will be moments when others behave unfairly toward you. They may speak harshly, criticize your work, or misunderstand your intentions. Your first emotional reaction may encourage you to respond with equal frustration. Resist that temptation. Matching another person's anger rarely improves the situation. Calm responses often protect your dignity while allowing clearer communication. Silence can be more powerful than immediate reaction. Not every criticism deserves an argument. Not every disagreement requires a lengthy explanation. Sometimes the wisest choice is to remain composed, reflect carefully, and respond only after your emotions have settled. Choosing silence when necessary is not weakness, it demonstrates discipline. Another important part of mental control is limiting unnecessary mental noise. Constant exposure to negative news, endless online arguments, and overwhelming amounts of information can leave your mind exhausted. Be intentional about what you allow into your thoughts. Protect your mental environment with the same care you would protect your physical health. Begin each day by directing your attention towards something meaningful before the outside world demands your focus. Spend a few quiet moments reading, reflecting, writing, or simply sitting without distraction. This creates a stable foundation that makes it easier to handle unexpected challenges later in the day. Your physical condition also influences your emotional responses. Lack of sleep, poor nutrition, and constant exhaustion reduce patience and increase irritability. Taking care of your body supports clearer thinking because the mind and body work together. Simple habits such as regular rest, healthy meals, and daily movement strengthen emotional resilience in practical ways. Learn to distinguish between what deserves your energy and what does not. Many people spend hours worrying about situations they cannot change, while neglecting actions that remain within their control. Whenever you notice yourself becoming overwhelmed, ask a simple question: what can I influence right now? Direct your effort toward that answer. Releasing unnecessary concerns creates room for productive action. Another valuable practice is observing your inner dialogue throughout the day. Notice how you speak to yourself after making mistakes or facing disappointment. Harsh self-criticism often creates more emotional pressure than the original problem. Instead of attacking yourself, focus on understanding what can be improved. Speak to yourself with honesty, fairness, and determination. Forgiveness also contributes to inner peace. Holding resentment requires constant emotional energy. Replaying painful experiences over and over again keeps old wounds active long after the event has ended. Forgiveness does not mean approving harmful behavior or forgetting important lessons. It means refusing to allow bitterness to continue controlling your thoughts. Calm thinking becomes especially valuable during important decisions. Pressure often encourages rushed choices based on fear or urgency. Whenever possible, give yourself time to reflect before making significant commitments. Review the facts carefully. Consider long-term consequences instead of temporary emotions. Wise decisions usually come from patient thinking rather than immediate reaction. Accept that uncertainty is a normal part of life. Many people become anxious because they want guarantees before taking action. They want complete certainty that every decision will succeed. Such certainty rarely exists. Learn to make thoughtful choices using the best information available while accepting that some outcomes remain beyond prediction. Peace grows when you stop demanding complete control over every future event. Developing emotional discipline also means becoming comfortable with temporary discomfort. Difficult conversations, important responsibilities, and challenging decisions often create tension. Instead of avoiding these experiences, approach them with steady composure. Confidence grows each time you prove that discomfort can be handled without losing self-control. Your words deserve careful attention because they often reflect the state of your mind. Calm individuals choose language that encourages understanding rather than conflict. They avoid unnecessary insults, exaggeration, and emotional outbursts. Their communication remains respectful even during disagreement, because they value solutions more than personal victory. Practice gratitude even during demanding seasons. When pressure increases, it becomes easy to focus only on problems. Intentionally recognizing moments of goodness balances your perspective. Appreciate supportive relationships, valuable lessons, good health, meaningful work, and simple daily blessings. Gratitude creates emotional stability because it reminds you that challenges are only one part of your life, not the whole story. Another powerful habit is ending each day with quiet reflection instead of constant distraction. Consider the situations that tested your patience. Ask yourself how you responded and what could be improved tomorrow. Reflection transforms daily experiences into lasting wisdom because it encourages continuous learning. Remember that mental strength develops gradually. Just as physical muscles become stronger through consistent training, emotional resilience grows through repeated practice. Every difficult conversation handled with patience, every stressful situation approached calmly, and every thoughtful decision made under pressure strengthens your ability to remain steady in future challenges. Do not expect perfection from yourself. There will be days when emotions become stronger than you intended. There may be moments when frustration escapes through your words or actions. When this happens, accept responsibility without becoming discouraged. Learn from the experience, make necessary corrections, and continue practicing. Growth comes through persistence, not flawless performance. As your ability to control your thoughts improves, you will notice meaningful changes throughout your life. Your decisions become clearer because they are guided by reason instead of impulse. Relationships improve because people experience your patience and respect. Difficult situations lose much of their power because you no longer react automatically. Confidence grows because you know your peace depends more on your character than on changing circumstances. Eventually, calmness becomes more than an occasional choice. It becomes part of your identity. Others may respond with panic while you remain steady. Unexpected problems may appear, yet your mind searches for solutions instead of creating unnecessary fear. Pressure may increase, but your values continue guiding your actions. This quiet strength cannot be taken away by changing conditions because it has been built from within. The world will continue presenting challenges that test your patience, judgment, and emotional balance. You cannot prevent every storm from arriving, but you can decide how you will stand when it does. Guard your thoughts with wisdom. Choose responses that reflect your principles instead of temporary emotions. Allow patience to become stronger than frustration, understanding stronger than anger, and thoughtful action stronger than impulse. With each passing day, these choices will shape a mind that remains clear under pressure, a character that remains steady during difficulty, and a life directed by wisdom rather than reaction. Chapter 7. Set clear goals and work toward them with purpose. A meaningful life rarely develops by accident. It grows through intentional choices made over time, guided by a clear direction and supported by consistent effort. Without a destination, even the hardest work can become scattered and unproductive. You may stay busy for years and still feel as though you are standing in the same place. This is why setting clear goals is not simply about achieving success. It is about giving your daily actions a purpose that keeps you moving toward a life you truly value. Many people spend more time thinking about what they do not want than deciding what they actually want. They know they dislike their current situation, but they have never clearly described the future they hope to build. A vague dream cannot guide daily decisions. Your mind works more effectively when it has a specific direction to follow. The clearer your vision becomes, the easier it is to recognize opportunities that support it and distractions that pull you away. Take time to define what success truly means to you. Do not allow society, trends, or the expectations of others to make that decision on your behalf. A goal that belongs to someone else will never provide lasting satisfaction. Think carefully about the kind of person you want to become, the values you want to live by, the relationships you want to strengthen, and the contribution you hope to make. When your goals reflect your deepest values, your commitment becomes much stronger because your efforts have personal meaning. Purpose gives ordinary days extraordinary value. Washing the dishes, studying a lesson, saving a small amount of money, practicing a skill, or completing a routine task may appear simple on the surface. Yet when these actions are connected to a meaningful goal, they become part of something much larger. Every small decision begins serving a greater direction instead of existing as an isolated activity. One of the biggest mistakes people make is choosing goals that are too general. Saying you want to become successful, healthy, or happy provides very little guidance. Instead, Create goals that are clear enough to influence your daily choices. Decide what success looks like in practical terms. Identify the skills you need to develop, the habits you need to strengthen, and the milestones that will show your progress. Clarity removes confusion and replaces it with direction. Writing your goals is a simple habit with remarkable value. Thoughts often change from day to day, but written goals provide consistency. They remind you why your efforts matter, especially during difficult periods when motivation feels low. Reading your goals regularly keeps your attention aligned with your priorities and reduces the temptation to become distracted by less meaningful pursuits. At the same time, avoid filling your life with too many major objectives. Trying to accomplish everything at once often leads to frustration because your attention becomes divided. Focus on the few goals that will create the greatest positive impact. Concentrated effort produces stronger results than scattered energy. Give yourself permission to make meaningful progress in one area before expanding your attention elsewhere. Every worthwhile goal requires preparation. Before expecting results, invest time in learning. Study the people who have achieved similar outcomes with honesty and integrity. Read books that deepen your understanding. Develop practical skills through regular practice. Ask thoughtful questions. Every hour spent improving your knowledge increases your ability to make wise decisions when opportunities appear. Goals should inspire action rather than create pressure. Some people become so focused on reaching the final destination that they overlook the importance of daily progress. They constantly think about how far they still have to go, instead of appreciating how much they have already learned. Shift your attention toward the process. If you commit fully to today's responsibilities, tomorrow's results will gradually take care of themselves. Purpose also gives strength during difficult seasons. There will be days when your energy feels limited or your progress appears slow. During those moments, remembering why you started becomes more important than remembering how far you have already traveled. A meaningful purpose provides emotional stability because it reminds you that temporary discomfort serves a larger vision. Your goals should challenge you without convincing you that they are impossible. If your expectations are unrealistically high, discouragement may arrive quickly. On the other hand, goals that require no growth provide little satisfaction. Seek objectives that encourage steady improvement while remaining achievable through dedication, learning, and persistence. One effective strategy is breaking larger goals into smaller achievements. A long journey becomes less overwhelming when you focus on one meaningful step at a time. If your goal is to write a book, begin by writing one page each day. If you want to improve your finances, start by tracking your spending and saving consistently. If you hope to become healthier, make one better choice at each meal and stay physically active throughout the week. Small accomplishments build confidence because they provide regular evidence that progress is happening. Another important lesson is remaining flexible while protecting your purpose. Circumstances may change unexpectedly. You might need to adjust your schedule, revise your methods, or develop additional skills. Adaptation is a sign of wisdom, not weakness. Keep your purpose steady while allowing your strategy to improve through experience. Avoid becoming discouraged by the pace of your progress. Many valuable goals require far more time than people initially expect. Mastering a profession, building meaningful relationships, developing financial stability, or creating lasting health cannot be rushed. Respect the time required for genuine growth. Impatience often causes people to abandon goals that were only beginning to produce meaningful results. Your daily choices should reflect your long-term priorities. If your goal is to become physically healthy, your eating habits, sleeping patterns, and exercise routines should support that vision. If your goal is professional growth, your schedule should include regular learning and skill development. If you value strong family relationships, your calendar should make room for meaningful conversations and shared experiences. Purpose becomes visible through consistent behavior. It is also important to review your goals regularly. As you grow, your understanding of yourself becomes deeper. Some goals may become more meaningful. Others may no longer reflect your values. Honest reflection allows you to adjust your direction without losing your commitment to personal growth. A thoughtful life is not rigid. It remains open to learning while staying grounded in principles. Do not allow fear of failure to prevent ambitious thinking. Every important accomplishment begins as an idea that requires courage to pursue. There is no guarantee that every effort will succeed exactly as planned, but refusing to begin guarantees that potential remains unrealized. Accept that uncertainty accompanies every worthwhile journey and move forward with preparation instead of hesitation. Your environment influences your ability to stay committed. Keep reminders of your goals where you will see them often. Surround yourself with books, tools, and people that support your development. Reduce exposure to influences that encourage distraction or lower your standards. Your surroundings should strengthen your commitment rather than compete with it. Celebrate meaningful milestones along the way. Recognizing progress creates encouragement without promoting complacency. Appreciate each new skill learned, every challenge overcome, and every habit strengthened. These moments remind you that steady effort produces visible improvement over time. Another valuable habit is beginning each day by identifying the most important task connected to your larger purpose. Complete that task before becoming occupied with smaller responsibilities whenever possible. This simple practice ensures that your greatest goals continue receiving consistent attention regardless of how busy life becomes. Purpose also transforms ordinary setbacks into valuable lessons. Instead of viewing obstacles as reasons to quit, you begin seeing them as opportunities to strengthen your understanding. Every challenge teaches patience, problem-solving, resilience, or humility. These qualities become essential companions on every meaningful journey. Remember that true success includes more than external achievement. A goal reached through dishonesty, neglect of important relationships, or constant inner conflict is not genuine success. Allow your ambitions to remain connected to integrity, kindness, and personal responsibility. The person you become while pursuing your goals matters just as much as the goals themselves. Generosity also adds depth to purpose. As your abilities grow, look for opportunities to encourage others, share knowledge, offer support, and celebrate the progress of those around you. Personal growth becomes more meaningful when it creates positive influence beyond your own life. Success reaches its fullest value when it contributes to the well-being of others. At times, you may question whether your efforts are making a difference. During those moments, look back with honesty. Notice the knowledge you have gained, the habits you have improved, the confidence you have developed, and the obstacles you now handle more wisely than before. These changes are evidence that your consistent effort is shaping your future, even when the final destination remains ahead. Purpose creates endurance because it gives every day a reason to matter. Instead of drifting through life responding only to immediate demands, you begin making choices that support a future built intentionally. Each decision becomes connected to something greater than temporary comfort or convenience. Every hour invested wisely becomes another step toward the life you are determined to create. As the years pass, you will discover that clear goals do more than organize your time. They shape your identity. They teach patience when results arrive slowly, courage when opportunities require bold action, discipline when distractions appear, and gratitude when progress becomes visible. They help transform dreams into daily responsibilities and ordinary moments into lasting achievements. Continue choosing your direction with care. Protect your purpose from unnecessary distractions. Stay committed through changing circumstances. Learn continuously, adapt wisely, and measure your life not only by what you accomplish, but also by the integrity with which you pursue your goals. A person who lives with purpose does not wander through life hoping for meaningful change. They create that change through thoughtful decisions, consistent effort, and the quiet determination to keep moving forward until their vision becomes reality. Chapter 8. Develop strong habits that support growth and lasting success. Your future is quietly shaped by the routines you repeat when no one is watching. Major achievements often receive attention because they are visible. Small successes, however, remain hidden. They require consistent effort, but they are usually the result of countless ordinary actions completed over a long period of time. What you choose to do each morning, how you spend your evenings, the way you respond to challenges, and the standards you maintain every day gradually become the foundation of your character. Lasting success is not created by occasional bursts of effort. It is built through habits that continue working for you long after excitement fades. Many people wait for motivation before taking action. They believe they need to feel inspired before making positive choices. The problem with this approach is that emotions change constantly. Some mornings you will wake up full of energy. Other days you will feel tired, distracted, or discouraged. If your progress depends entirely on how you feel, consistency becomes impossible. Habits remove this uncertainty because they create actions that continue even when enthusiasm is low. A strong habit begins with a clear reason. Before changing your behavior, understand why the change matters. A habit connected to a meaningful purpose becomes much easier to maintain than one based on temporary excitement. If you exercise only to look better for a short period, your commitment may disappear once your interest changes. If you exercise because you value health, energy, and the ability to care for your family, your motivation becomes deeper and more enduring. Start by examining the habits that already exist in your life. Every day is filled with repeated behaviors that often happen automatically. Some strengthen your future, others quietly weaken it. Pay attention to how you spend your mornings, how you use your free time, what you consume mentally and physically, and how you respond when responsibilities become difficult. Awareness is the beginning of improvement because you cannot change what you refuse to notice. Do not attempt to transform your entire life overnight. Trying to change everything at once usually creates unnecessary pressure. Instead, choose one habit that would make the greatest positive difference if practiced consistently. Give that habit your full attention until it becomes a natural part of your routine. Once it feels stable, begin strengthening another area. Steady progress creates lasting change because it allows your new behaviors to take root before adding more challenges. Morning habits deserve special attention because they influence the direction of the entire day. The first hour after waking often sets the tone for your thinking and decision-making. Instead of immediately filling your mind with distractions, begin with actions that strengthen your body and mind. Drink water, move your body, spend time reading something valuable, review your priorities, or simply enjoy a few quiet moments before the demands of the day begin. These choices create a sense of direction that continues long after the morning has ended. Your environment has a powerful effect on the habits you develop. Good intentions often disappear when your surroundings constantly encourage poor decisions. Make positive choices easier by preparing your environment in advance. Keep healthy food available, place books where you can easily reach them, organize your workspace, and remove unnecessary distractions from the places where you spend the most time. Success becomes more achievable when your environment supports your goals instead of competing with them. Another important principle is reducing unnecessary friction. If you want to read more, keep a book nearby instead of hidden on a shelf. If you want to exercise, prepare your clothing the night before. If you want to practice a new skill, have the necessary tools ready before your scheduled practice time. Small preparations remove excuses and make positive action more natural. Habits become stronger through repetition, not intensity. Reading 10 pages every day for a year often creates more knowledge than reading several books in one weekend and then stopping completely. Saving a small amount consistently builds greater financial stability than making occasional large contributions, followed by long periods of neglect. Daily effort may appear modest, but its long-term effect is remarkable because it continues accumulating over time. Be patient while building new routines. During the early stages, your progress may feel awkward or uncomfortable. Old behaviors often seem easier because they are familiar. Do not mistake unfamiliarity for inability. Every new habit requires practice before it begins to feel natural. Continue showing up with consistency even when the process feels slower than expected. Accountability can strengthen your commitment significantly. Share meaningful goals with someone you trust. Choose people who encourage honesty, responsibility, and steady improvement rather than those who make excuses or lower your standards. A supportive environment reminds you of your purpose during moments when your determination feels weaker. Another valuable practice is tracking your consistency. Keep a simple record of the habits you are developing. Mark each day you complete the behavior you intended. This visual reminder provides encouragement because it allows you to see your progress over time. More importantly, it reminds you that every day offers another opportunity to strengthen your commitment. Avoid allowing one missed day to become a permanent pattern. Everyone experiences unexpected interruptions. Travel, illness, family responsibilities, or demanding work may temporarily disrupt your routine. The important decision is how quickly you return. Missing once is part of life. Repeating the same omission again and again gradually weakens the habit you have worked to build. Resume your routine as soon as possible without unnecessary guilt or self-criticism. Strong habits also require honesty. Occasionally ask yourself whether your daily routines still support the person you want to become. Some habits remain useful for years. Others may need adjustment as your goals and responsibilities evolve. Personal growth requires flexibility because your needs change throughout different seasons of life. The books you read, the conversations you engage in, and the information you consume all influence your habits of thinking. Protect your mind by choosing content that educates, challenges, and encourages growth. Constant exposure to negativity, meaningless entertainment, or unhealthy comparison slowly shapes your outlook without you realizing it. Feed your mind with ideas that strengthen wisdom, gratitude, discipline, and hope. Time management is closely connected to successful habits. Many people believe they lack time when the real problem is a lack of intention. Review how you spend each day with complete honesty. Small periods of wasted time often add up to several hours each week. Reclaiming even a portion of that time creates valuable opportunities for learning, exercise, planning, or meaningful rest. Healthy habits extend beyond work and achievement. Building lasting success also requires caring for your relationships. Make it a habit to express appreciation, listen carefully, keep your promises, and spend quality time with the people who matter most. Strong relationships provide encouragement during difficult seasons and remind you that success is more meaningful when it is shared. Learning should also become a permanent habit rather than an occasional activity. The world continues changing, and every stage of life presents new challenges. Read regularly, ask thoughtful questions, remain curious, and seek opportunities to improve your understanding. A person committed to lifelong learning continues growing regardless of age or experience. Rest deserves a place within healthy routines as well. Continuous work without recovery eventually reduces both effectiveness and creativity. Build habits that protect your physical and mental well-being. Sleep adequately, spend time outdoors, enjoy meaningful conversations, and create moments of quiet reflection. Recovery prepares you to return with greater focus and energy. Generosity is another habit worth developing. Look for opportunities to encourage someone, offer assistance, or share useful knowledge. Acts of kindness strengthen your character because they shift your attention beyond personal gain. They remind you that lasting success includes making a positive difference in the lives of others. Be careful not to judge your progress only by visible achievements. Some of the most important habits create internal changes before external results appear. Greater patience, improved self-control, better judgment, stronger emotional balance, and increased reliability may not receive public recognition, yet they influence every area of your life. These qualities become the quiet strengths that support future success. There will be periods when routine feels ordinary and excitement is limited. During those seasons, remember that consistency often matters more than emotion. Continue practicing your habits even when dramatic progress is not immediately visible. Long-term growth belongs to those who remain faithful to their principles during ordinary days, not only during inspiring moments. As your habits become stronger, you will notice that difficult decisions require less effort. Healthy choices begin feeling natural. Productive routines become part of your identity instead of tasks that require constant motivation. You no longer depend on willpower alone because your daily structure supports the life you are creating. Your habits eventually become a reflection of your values. They reveal what truly matters to you, not through words but through repeated action. If you value learning, your schedule will include time to study. If you value health, your choices will reflect care for your body. If you value integrity, your actions will remain honest even when shortcuts appear tempting. Every habit quietly communicates the standards by which you choose to live. Continue refining your routines with patience and purpose. Remove behaviors that no longer serve your future and replace them with actions that strengthen your character. Appreciate the power of ordinary moments because they hold extraordinary potential when repeated consistently. Every thoughtful habit becomes another building block in the life you are creating. Years from now, the results of these daily choices will become impossible to ignore. Your knowledge will deepen because you never stopped learning. Your health will improve because you consistently cared for your body. Your relationships will grow stronger because you invested time and attention in the people you love. Your confidence will become steadier because your actions repeatedly proved your commitment to your values. This is how lasting success is built, not through sudden transformation, but through strong habits practiced with patience, intention, and unwavering consistency until they become the natural expression of the person you have chosen to become. Chapter 9. Stay consistent when motivation fades and results seem slow. The beginning of any meaningful journey often feels exciting. New goals bring fresh energy, clear expectations, and a strong desire to improve. During those early days, taking action feels natural because your enthusiasm is high. You imagine the future with optimism and believe that steady progress will come quickly. Yet every worthwhile goal eventually reaches a quieter stage. The excitement becomes less noticeable. Daily work begins to feel ordinary. Visible results may appear slower than expected. This is the point where many people stop, not because their goal has become impossible, but because they expected motivation to carry them farther than it was ever meant to. Motivation is valuable because it helps you begin, but consistency is what allows you to finish. Feelings naturally change from one day to another. Some mornings you wake up full of energy and confidence. Other mornings you feel tired, distracted, or uncertain. If your actions depend entirely on your emotions, your progress will always rise and fall with your mood. A dependable life is built by making wise decisions, regardless of temporary feelings. One of the greatest misunderstandings about successful people is the belief that they always feel inspired. In reality, they often face the same doubts, distractions, and moments of fatigue as everyone else. The difference is that they continue honoring their commitments even when their emotions are not encouraging them to do so. They understand that temporary discomfort is not a reliable reason to abandon long-term goals. When progress appears slow, the mind naturally begins asking difficult questions. You may wonder whether your effort is worthwhile. You may question whether your goal is realistic. You may even compare yourself to people who appear to be moving ahead more quickly. These thoughts are common, but they do not deserve complete control over your decisions. Before changing direction, remember how easily the mind forgets the value of gradual improvement. Many important changes happen quietly before they become visible. A person who reads every day may not notice dramatic differences after 1 week, but after several years, their knowledge, judgment, and communication improve in remarkable ways. Someone who saves a small amount consistently may not feel wealthy immediately, yet patience eventually creates financial security that seemed impossible in the beginning. Growth often develops beneath the surface, long before others recognize it. It is helpful to measure success by your faithfulness to the process, instead of only by the speed of the outcome. Ask yourself whether you completed today's meaningful work. Did you practice your skill? Did you honor your values? Did you make choices that support the future you want? These questions keep your attention on actions within your control instead of outcomes that require time. There will be seasons when life becomes especially demanding. Family responsibilities may increase. Work may become more challenging. Unexpected problems may require your full attention. During these periods, avoid the belief that every routine must remain perfect. Instead, focus on protecting your most important habits. Even if your progress temporarily slows, maintaining a connection to your purpose prevents unnecessary setbacks. Consistency does not require dramatic effort every single day. Some days allow for significant accomplishments. Other days may only permit small steps forward. Both kinds of days have value. Reading a few pages during a busy evening is better than reading nothing at all. A short walk supports your health more than remaining inactive. Writing one thoughtful paragraph keeps your creative habit alive even when time is limited. Small actions maintain momentum and make it easier to continue when circumstances improve. Another important lesson is learning to appreciate ordinary days. Many people constantly search for exciting moments while overlooking the quiet routines that create meaningful progress. Excellence grows through repeated practice that may appear simple from the outside. Preparing carefully, studying consistently, exercising regularly, managing responsibilities with integrity, and treating others with respect are ordinary actions that gradually produce extraordinary results. Avoid allowing temporary disappointment to become a permanent conclusion. Every long journey includes periods where visible progress slows. This does not always mean something is wrong. Sometimes development requires patience because deeper changes are taking place. Skills become more refined. Understanding becomes more complete. Character becomes stronger through continued effort. Your relationship with time also influences your consistency. Modern life often encourages immediate satisfaction. We become accustomed to quick answers, instant entertainment, and rapid results. Personal growth follows a different rhythm. It asks for patience, careful attention, and repeated effort. Accepting this reality reduces frustration because you stop expecting overnight transformation. One practical habit is creating systems that support your consistency. Decide in advance when you will complete important tasks. Remove unnecessary decisions by establishing routines. Prepare your materials before beginning. Reduce distractions that compete for your attention. Well-designed routines make consistent action easier because they reduce opportunities for hesitation. Reflection can also strengthen long-term commitment. At regular intervals, review how far you have already come. Look beyond obvious achievements and notice the improvements in your thinking, emotional balance, decision-making, and daily discipline. These internal changes often appear before major external success. Recognizing them provides encouragement during slower seasons. Do not allow comparison to steal your satisfaction. Every person begins from different circumstances, develops at a different pace, and pursues different goals. Looking constantly at someone else's progress distracts you from your own responsibilities. Direct your energy toward becoming a better version of yourself instead of competing with journeys that are not yours. Consistency also requires protecting your emotional energy. Constant self-criticism creates unnecessary exhaustion. While honest evaluation is important, speak to yourself with fairness and respect. Acknowledge mistakes without allowing them to become permanent labels. Improvement becomes easier when your inner dialogue encourages learning instead of creating hopelessness. There will be times when your efforts seem unnoticed. Others may not recognize the discipline required to continue practicing, studying, or improving yourself. Continue anyway. Many of the most valuable achievements in life are developed privately before they become visible publicly. Your commitment should come from your values rather than from external recognition. Surround yourself with reminders of why your work matters. Read inspiring books. Spend time with thoughtful people. Revisit your written goals. Reflect on the future you are creating through today's decisions. Encouragement is not a substitute for discipline. but it helps renew your perspective when your determination feels weaker. Another valuable practice is separating temporary emotions from permanent decisions. Feeling discouraged today does not mean you should abandon a goal that remains meaningful. Feeling tired does not necessarily mean you need to quit. Allow emotions to pass before making important choices. Many regrets begin with decisions made during moments of frustration instead of moments of clarity. Patience becomes especially important when your efforts involve helping others. Whether raising children, building relationships, leading a team, or serving your community, meaningful influence often develops slowly. Continue acting with kindness, honesty, and consistency, even when immediate appreciation is absent. Character leaves a lasting impact that extends far beyond visible recognition. There is also wisdom in accepting that not every day will reflect your highest standard. Unexpected interruptions, illness, disappointment, or simple human limitations may affect your performance. Respond with flexibility instead of perfectionism. Learn what you can from each experience and continue moving forward without unnecessary guilt. Long-term consistency is strengthened by gratitude. Appreciate the opportunity to keep learning, improving, and contributing. Notice the abilities you already possess. Value the people who encourage your journey. Gratitude creates emotional stability because it reminds you that progress includes more than reaching distant goals. It also includes becoming someone who recognizes the value of each day. As months become years, you will discover that consistency changes your identity. You no longer think of yourself as someone who occasionally pursues meaningful goals. You become someone who naturally lives according to principles. Discipline becomes familiar. Learning becomes enjoyable. Responsibility becomes part of your character. These internal changes create confidence because they are built through repeated experience rather than temporary emotion. Remember that remarkable accomplishments are rarely the result of one extraordinary day. They are usually created through hundreds of ordinary days used wisely. Every decision to continue practicing when improvement feels slow, every moment spent learning when results remain invisible, and every commitment honored, despite changing emotions, becomes another step toward lasting success. One day you will look back and realize that the days you once considered ordinary were actually shaping your future in powerful ways. The quiet mornings, the thoughtful choices, the patient effort, and the steady commitment were building something much greater than immediate results. They were building a person capable of handling greater responsibility, deeper challenges, and more meaningful opportunities. Continue moving forward with quiet determination. Allow your standards to guide your actions instead of waiting for perfect motivation. Trust that meaningful progress is taking place even when it cannot yet be fully measured. Honor your commitments during easy seasons and difficult ones alike. Stay faithful to the process. Remain patient with your growth, and refuse to measure your future by today's temporary pace. Lasting success belongs to those who understand that consistency is an expression of character, not emotion. It is the daily decision to continue taking meaningful action long after excitement has faded and before recognition has arrived. Every step completed with integrity brings you closer to the life you have chosen to create. Keep going with confidence, remain steady through changing circumstances, and remember that the greatest transformations are often built one ordinary day at a time, until those ordinary days become an extraordinary life. Chapter 10. Commit fully to daily improvement and become unbreakable. There comes a moment in every person's life when they must decide what kind of future they truly want to create. It is not a decision made through words alone. It is made through the choices repeated every day. Each morning offers a new opportunity to continue growing or to remain exactly where you are. Every decision, no matter how small it appears, contributes to the person you are becoming. Daily improvement is not about chasing perfection. It is about refusing to remain satisfied with habits, thoughts, and behaviors that limit your potential. When you commit yourself to steady growth, you begin building a life that is stronger, wiser, and far more resilient than you once imagined. An unbreakable person is not someone who never experiences difficulty. Such a person does not exist. Every human being faces disappointment, uncertainty, loss, and unexpected change. What makes someone unbreakable is the decision to continue learning, adapting, and moving forward, regardless of what life presents. Strength is not measured by the absence of hardship. It is revealed by the ability to remain grounded in your values when circumstances become difficult. One of the greatest mistakes people make is believing they must completely transform themselves before they can respect who they are. Real growth begins by accepting responsibility for the present while believing in the possibility of a better future. Appreciate the progress you have already made without becoming comfortable with standing still. Gratitude and ambition can exist together. You can be thankful for today's achievements while remaining committed to tomorrow's improvement. Every day provides countless opportunities to become slightly wiser. You may learn something from a conversation, a mistake, a book, a challenge, or a quiet moment of reflection. Never assume that learning ends after reaching a certain age or level of success. A curious mind continues growing because it remains open to new understanding. Humility keeps your mind teachable, and a teachable mind continues discovering better ways to live. Daily improvement requires intentional attention. Without direction, it becomes easy to repeat yesterday without making meaningful progress. Begin each morning by asking yourself one important question: what kind of person do I want to be today? This question shifts your attention away from circumstances you cannot control and toward qualities you can choose. You may decide to become more patient, more generous, more disciplined, more honest, or more courageous. These decisions gradually shape your identity because repeated actions become lasting character. Your standards determine your future more than your temporary emotions. Feelings naturally rise and fall, but personal standards remain steady. When you decide that honesty will guide your words, integrity will shape your actions, and kindness will influence your relationships, you create a foundation that remains stable during changing circumstances. Strong principles simplify difficult decisions because they provide clear direction even when emotions become complicated. One powerful habit is ending every day with honest reflection. Instead of focusing only on achievements, examine your character. Ask yourself whether your actions reflected your values. Consider where you handled situations wisely and where you could respond better next time. Reflection turns daily experience into lasting wisdom because it encourages continuous adjustment rather than repeating the same mistakes. Do not become discouraged by how much you still hope to accomplish. Every meaningful journey appears long when viewed from the beginning. Instead of becoming overwhelmed by the distance ahead, concentrate on today's responsibility. Improve one skill, strengthen one relationship, solve one problem, complete one important task with excellence. Small victories repeated faithfully create remarkable results over time. Resilience grows through acceptance rather than resistance. Accept that life will include uncertainty. Accept that some plans will need adjustment. Accept that people will sometimes disappoint you. Accept that unexpected challenges are part of every meaningful journey. Acceptance does not mean lowering your standards or giving up. It means directing your energy toward wise action instead of wasting it arguing with reality. There is great value in protecting your inner peace. The world constantly offers reasons to become distracted, frustrated, or discouraged. News, criticism, comparison, and unnecessary conflict can easily consume your attention. Choose carefully where your energy goes. Not every disagreement deserves your involvement. Not every opinion requires your response. Preserve your emotional strength for the people, responsibilities, and goals that truly deserve your attention. Another important lesson is learning to trust gradual progress. Modern culture often celebrates dramatic success stories while overlooking the years of quiet effort that made those achievements possible. Lasting change develops through ordinary routines practiced with extraordinary consistency. Reading regularly, exercising consistently, treating people respectfully, managing your time wisely, and remaining faithful to your commitments may not seem impressive on a single day. Yet these actions create an exceptional life when repeated over many years. Your relationships also reflect your commitment to personal growth. Become someone who encourages others through your example, rather than through empty advice. Listen carefully before offering opinions. Speak with honesty while showing compassion. Celebrate the success of others without allowing comparison to weaken your own confidence. Strong character influences people naturally because actions carry greater weight than words alone. Forgive yourself for the person you were, while remaining committed to becoming someone better. Everyone carries memories of poor decisions, missed opportunities, or seasons of weakness. Those experiences should become lessons rather than permanent burdens. Holding on to unnecessary guilt only limits your ability to serve the future. Learn from yesterday, make peace with it, and allow today's choices to reflect the wisdom you have gained. Develop the habit of responding thoughtfully instead of reacting emotionally. Every challenging situation gives you another opportunity to practice patience, understanding, and self-control. Over time, these responses become more natural because your character grows stronger through repeated practice. Calmness becomes part of your identity rather than something you occasionally achieve. Keep your promises to yourself with the same seriousness you give promises made to others. If you decide to study, begin at the planned time. If you commit to improving your health, honor that commitment through consistent action. If you choose to strengthen an important relationship, invest the necessary time and attention. Self-respect grows when your actions repeatedly confirm that your words can be trusted. Remember that true strength is often quiet. It does not seek constant recognition or approval. It appears through reliability, honesty, patience, humility, and steady effort. Others may never fully understand the discipline required to continue improving day after day, but your character continues growing regardless of whether anyone notices. Another valuable practice is finding purpose in serving others. Personal success becomes far more meaningful when it allows you to improve someone else's life. Share your knowledge generously, encourage those who are struggling, offer your time when someone genuinely needs help. Use your experience to make another person's path slightly easier. Service strengthens your own character because it reminds you that growth reaches its highest value when it benefits more than yourself. Protect your curiosity throughout life. Continue asking thoughtful questions. Remain willing to examine your beliefs honestly. Be open to learning from people with different experiences. Wisdom expands when pride becomes smaller. An unbreakable mind continues growing because it never assumes it has learned everything worth knowing. As you continue improving, avoid becoming distracted by temporary recognition. Praise may come, and criticism may also appear. Neither should determine your direction. Let your values remain stronger than public opinion. A life built on integrity remains steady because it is guided by principles rather than applause. There will still be difficult seasons. Even the strongest character cannot prevent every disappointment. What changes is your ability to face those moments with maturity. Instead of becoming overwhelmed, you begin asking better questions. Instead of seeing obstacles as reasons to quit, you view them as opportunities to apply the wisdom you have developed. Every challenge becomes another chance to strengthen your resilience. Protect your time carefully because it is the foundation of every meaningful achievement. Spend it intentionally. Give your attention to work that matters, conversations that strengthen relationships, learning that expands your understanding, and rest that prepares you for future responsibilities. A meaningful life is created by investing each day wisely rather than hoping for a better future without changing today's choices. Never underestimate the power of beginning again. There may be moments when you lose direction, neglect important habits, or experience unexpected setbacks. Do not allow temporary failure to become permanent defeat. Return to your principles. Rebuild your routines. Continue learning. Every fresh beginning demonstrates courage because it refuses to allow yesterday to control tomorrow. As the years pass, you will discover that becoming unbreakable has little to do with physical strength, perfect circumstances, or constant success. It has everything to do with your willingness to grow regardless of what life demands from you. It is the quiet confidence that comes from knowing your values remain unchanged, even when circumstances change. It is the peace that develops when your actions consistently reflect your deepest principles. One day you will look back and recognize that the greatest transformation did not happen through one extraordinary decision. It happened through thousands of ordinary choices made with honesty, patience, discipline, and purpose. Every lesson learned, every habit strengthened, every challenge faced with courage, and every day spent improving yourself became part of the person you are. Continue choosing growth over comfort. Continue seeking wisdom instead of easy answers. Continue strengthening your character when no one is watching. Continue treating each new day as another opportunity to become more capable, more compassionate, and more resilient than you were yesterday. Refuse to let temporary obstacles define your future. Refuse to let fear silence your potential. Refuse to stop learning simply because progress feels slow. An unbreakable life is not built through perfect circumstances. It is built through unwavering commitment to becoming better one day at a time. Keep that commitment alive through every season of life. Allow your actions to reflect your purpose, your decisions to reflect your values, and your character to reflect the person you have chosen to become. If you remain faithful to daily improvement, no challenge will be able to take away the strength you have built within yourself, because true resilience is created from the inside and grows stronger with every thoughtful choice you make.